They say family is everything, but what happens when the very people who should protect your dreams become the ones who crush them? My name is Ava, and this is the story of how my life was stolen from me, and how my grandfather helped me steal it back. Before I dive into what happened, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like this video, and drop a comment if you've ever felt like your dreams were put on hold for someone else. You are not alone. It all began when I was 14. School was my sanctuary, books were my escape, and my dream was as clear as the summer sky. I wanted to become a biomedical engineer. I saw it all. I would invent devices that would save lives, help people walk again, give hope where science hadn't yet reached. I love learning. Every equation, every chemical reaction, every late-night cramming session, it all meant something. It felt like purpose. But in my house, dreams were a luxury we couldn't afford. My younger sister, Mia, was born with a congenital condition. She couldn't walk without assistance and required constant care. I loved her with everything I had. Her laughter was sunshine. But to my parents, Mia wasn't just their daughter. She was their entire world. And I was the spare, the helper, the afterthought. At first it was small things. Missing field trips because they needed me to babysit. Staying home from school for doctor's appointments because someone had to help with the wheelchair. I didn't complain. She was my sister. I loved her. But then came the day that changed everything. It was the start of 10th grade. I remember sitting at the kitchen table, excitedly flipping through my new biology textbook. That's when my mom said it. No warning, no discussion, just like a knife to the chest. Ava, we've decided you're not going back to school this year. Mia needs more support, and we can't afford to hire anyone. You'll homeschool, help her during the day. I thought it was a joke. It had to be. But then I saw the look in my father's eyes. He wouldn't even meet mine. That's when I knew they meant it. The protests were useless. The crying, the begging, the promising to do both, school and helping. None of it mattered. I was 15 and powerless. And just like that, my dream began to wither. Days blurred together. I woke up, helped Mia with her therapy, made her food, read to her, took her outside for fresh air. It was relentless. No one asked me how I felt. No one noticed when I stopped reading my textbooks or when I gave up trying. I started writing letters to myself, pages and pages of what I wanted to become. I didn't know why. Maybe I needed to remember who I was. Maybe I was afraid I'd forget. I didn't know it then, but someone else had been watching. Grandpa. My mom's father lived in a small house on the edge of town. We didn't visit him much. He was considered a bit of a rebel. He believed in independence, dreams, passion, things that made my parents uncomfortable. One afternoon, he dropped by unannounced, just sat on the porch with me, watching Mia play with a toy piano. He didn't say much at first, just, "How are you really?" I broke, told him everything, how I was forced to give up school, how I missed learning, how I felt invisible. He didn't interrupt, just listened. That was the first time in months someone had really seen me. Then he said something I'll never forget. "The world will steal your fire if you let it, but fire can be hidden, not extinguished. The choice is yours, Ava. Do you want it back?" I didn't know how to answer. I wanted it back more than anything, but I was trapped. Grandpa didn't push. He just hugged me and said, "All right then, let's light the match." The next few weeks, things started to change. Grandpa began visiting more often. He started bringing me books, college-level ones. He brought a used laptop. He showed me websites, online classes, scholarships I'd never heard of. He even contacted a friend who was a retired science professor to tutor me once a week. We kept it quiet. My parents thought he was just spending time with me. They were happy someone else was helping out, but we were building something, a plan, a future. One night, Grandpa called a family meeting. He looked my parents in the eye and said, "Ava's going back to school. I'll take care of the costs. I'll help with Mia. But you're not going to kill this girl's dream. Not on my watch." It was the first time I saw my father speechless. My mother tried to argue, but Grandpa was firm, calm but immovable, the kind of man who had already made his decision and wasn't asking for permission. And just like that, the tide turned. I returned to school halfway through the year. It was hard, I was behind. People had moved on. But I worked like someone who had seen the edge and clawed her way back. Grandpa drove me to every exam. He stayed up helping me with projects. He became my biggest cheerleader. I graduated top of my class, applied to 3 universities, got accepted into 2. I chose one with a biomedical engineering program and a full scholarship. On the day I left for college, my parents hugged me. There was something different in their eyes. Not regret, not really. Maybe realization. They'd made a mistake, and in their own way, they were trying to say sorry. Mia cried when I left. She slipped a note into my bag. It just said, "Be everything you told me you wanted to be." I'm in my 2nd year now, designing assistive devices. One of them might help someone like Mia someday. And Grandpa? He passed away last winter, peacefully in his sleep, but not before seeing me walk into my first college lab coat fitting. He just smiled and whispered, "There's that fire." So here's what I'll leave you with. Dreams are fragile, but not impossible. Even when the people who love you the most can't see them, that doesn't mean they aren't worth chasing. And if you're still here, thank you for listening to my story. Subscribe, like, and comment if you believe in second chances. If you've ever been underestimated, if you're still chasing your own dream. Because trust me, it's never too late to light the match.